Hey everyone's JackelWolf back in MC Eternal with another 5 minutes. That's how I did it. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we are working our way through the quest book. Last episode, we did some portable storage. We started with the storage crates, which are, kind of portable. Then we did the oak crate, the backpack, and then we finished it off with the storage bag, which was my favorite of all of those. This episode, we're going to jump around a little bit. We're going to start with the time in a bottle. This is something I should have done a lot earlier. This is a device that allows us to store time and then use it to speed up certain machines and stuff like that to kind of, get our produce a little bit quicker. So like furnaces and drying racks and things like that. And then while we're at it, we're going to go over and we're going to go on an adventure. We're going to craft ourselves an airship, which is kind of a little fun. It is a very buggy little mod, but once you get it working, it is really, really cool. And it's probably your earliest form of flight, which is, going to make things getting around your world a little bit easier. So to start, let's go and work on that time in a bottle. To do that, we are first going to have to make ourselves a regular vanilla Minecraft clock. That is 4 gold ingots and 1 redstone. If we take that clock, put it in the crafting table with 3 gold ingots, 2 diamonds, 2 lapis lazuli, and a glass bottle, that gets us our time in a bottle. Now, it is ideal that you make this as early on in the game as you can, because every second that you spend in the game, you build up seconds and you store them in this bottle, and then you can use them to speed up certain things in your world. So I'm going to let this build up. I've got some steak up here that is, or I think this is mutton, that's going to be turning into leather. It's taken me so long that we don't even really have a chance to speed that one up, but I'll find something here to show off before the end of the episodes, just how to use that bottle. But our next step is we're going to go and build ourselves an airship. This is the Davinci'S vessels. You can build boats and I believe even submarines with them. But for the quest, we only have to build ourselves an airship. And it kind of gives you the idea of what you want to do for the rest of it anyway. So first off, what we're going to have to do is build ourselves a ship's helm. This is going to be your control piece for your build. It's what's going to allow you to declare your ship, the area around your ship. And it's also going to be how you interact with it to kind of move around in your world. So to start, we're going to need 4 wood planks, 4 sticks, and 1 piece of iron. We're also going to need a bunch of air balloons. Now, for the quest, we need 16. You can make as many of these as you want to, make whatever sort of the design you want for your airship. It's very, very simple, though. It is 1 white wool and 1 string make 1 air balloon. I've got 16 and 16 because that's what we need for the quest. This is very, string and wool intensive. If you don't have a wool farm, I suggest, getting some of these silkworms. They are just from these silkworm eggs that you get from, chopping down trees and that, and then you can kind of just plant them, and they'll just continuously produce these cocoons, and then you can turn those cocoons into string. We did that last episode, so I'm not going to get too into it, but they have provided pretty much all of the string to make the wool and the string for this, this quest here. So one other piece we're going to need is a passenger seat that is just 3 wool in a crafting table in that sort of shortened L shape. We are also going to need a steam engine. Now, this is really what's going to power our machine. That is going to be 7 iron ingots, 1 furnace, and 1 water bucket. We take it out. We get the bucket. The bucket stays behind. That's okay. But that is perfect. You can see we've got all 4 advancements there, or all 4 parts of that advancement. So we can click that open. We can collect our money rewards. We can collect our loot rewards. Hot potato. Okay, that's a new one for me. We're going to have to check that one out. And then the submarine sandwich, that's, another food item, which is really, really cool. Hot potato dungeon tactics. I'm not going to play around with that. That looks like it might be a game of some sort. You got to pass back and forth. Like a hot potato. Maybe a multiplayer thing, but we'll maybe test that one out a little bit later. It's not part of what we are working on. Now, even though we've got all 4 items for our airship, there's a couple other things that we can build that's going to make the airship a little bit better. So first off, we can make a secured bed. This is a bed that's going to be, part of the airship. It won't fall off or anything like that, or you won't fall off. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but that is simply a bed and a piece of iron ingot that gets you that secured bed. Then we can also make ourselves some wooden crates. It's going to take 3 wood and 3 leather, which is why I had the leather up here. So 1, 2, and then we'll leave that third one up there, and we'll go place those 2 down. That gets us 3 wooden crates. They are really, really good. We can also make ourselves an anchor point. This can be used as a ship's anchor, and it can also be used as an airship's anchor. That is going to be 3 iron ingots, a block of iron, 2 redstone, and there is our anchor point. We can also make ourselves some measurement gauges. Now, there's 2 levels of this. There's a basic and a little bit more advanced. To make measurement gauges, it is 2 glass panes, 2 iron ingots, 2 gold ingots, and a piece of redstone. We can then take that gauge, move over here, place it into a crafting table with 4 glass panes, 2 iron ingots, 2 gold ingots, and that gets us that extended measurement gauges. So that is good. That is all well. Now all we're going to do is we got to build our ship in our world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and sleep, because I can hear some slimes outside. And I built this wall to keep stuff out. Okay guys, so it is daytime. It's kind of cleared off all the mobs there. I'm going to build my airship off of my roof of my house. You got to keep in mind that you don't want any part of your airship touching any block that you don't want incorporated into it. If you build it on the ground, it will pick up all of those little pieces of grass, and they'll be stuck to your ship, and you won't be able to fly because they'll be like way too heavy. And like this is a little bit of, I'm going to say it's a buggy one. I've had the game crash on me. I've had bits and pieces picked up where I wasn't expecting it. But if you do it properly, it is certainly a useful little mod here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out and make ourselves a little bit of a gangplank, which again, I've got to get rid of because I don't want it touching my house. But for now, it's going to, where are you going? Here we go. But for now, it's going to be a good spot for us to kind of start. Okay guys, so there is my, very simple airship. I have to admit, I went back, I had to make some more balloons. When you go into your controller there, it will tell you, what percentage of your ship is balloons. To be an airship, it needs to be at least 40%. So if you don't have that, it's not going to go work as an airship. It's just going to work as a regular ship, and it will not be a lot of fun for you. So that's very important to keep in mind. I've got the bed down here. We've got the steam engine. I got a little bit of fuel in there. We've got the wooden crates, which are not like storage crates. They're more like anchor points for pets. So I can bring MC Wolfie with me if I want. We've got the passenger chair. Now, this is not for the pilot. This is just for the passenger. We've got the extended measurement gauges, which should be telling us at least a little bit of stuff. They might actually just be decorative. I've never even really watched them. And then we got our ship's helm, which is perfect. And the sun is going down, so we're going to go sleep here. And we're going to do the last thing we got to do, and that is the anchors. Now, I only built one originally. I wasn't thinking I'm actually going to need 2 of them. We need to designate an anchor point for where we're going to anchor our ship fairly often. So I've kind of built this little platform out here. I may make it a proper sort of air dock, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and right click that anchor down. This is our world anchor. This is sort of where it's going to anchor to the world. I'm going to take the second anchor. I'm going to go put it in this little slot down here. We're going to hit link, and then we're going to go pull it back out, and we're going to go place it on the bottom of our ship, sort of in line with our little gangplank there. And then I'm going to right click this up. It is now ship's anchor, and it's related to this spot right here. So while we're flying, if we're within 20 blocks of this, we can hit the align key, and it should snap us right to this anchor point here, which is absolutely perfect. It's what we're going to want to do. So before we can start flying, we're going to have to come up here and make sure this is separate from any other connecting blocks. If you build this on the ground, it will pick up those grass blocks. That's not what you want. You want this to be floating in the air. If you're doing something like a ship, you're going to handle it a little bit differently. But for an airship for sure, you definitely don't want to be picking up any blocks with you. But we're going to come up here, and this is where I recommend you log out, copy your save, and start from a new sort of save thing here. It is possible to crash your game doing this. I haven't lost any data, but I've done this a bunch of times, and this is where it starts to get really, really frustrating if you haven't done things quite right. So, but as a double check, we are connected. We don't have any blocks connected to here. We've got our anchor point set. Everything should be good to go. But like I said, you got to be a little bit careful. It is very easy to crash the game. But again, I haven't lost any data yet. So that's probably a good thing. But we're going to right click on our little controller there. First things first, we can rename the ship. So we're going to call it the Flying Wolfsman. Instead of the Flying Dutchman, I don't know. It's that was the Jack Sparrow ship, was it? Wolfsman. I'm pretty sure the Flying Dutchman was Pirates of the Caribbean, but we'll call him that. We'll go hit done renaming. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the ship. Now, it says it's okay. It is an airship. If I didn't have enough balloons, it would just say it's a regular ship. Tidal entities 8, mass is 14.6. This is all going to control your speed. The more steam engines you've got, the faster you're going to be able to go. Now, here's where I got to be careful. If I escape out of this without mounting the ship, it's going to crash the game. This is one of the places where it's going to happen if you're not paying attention. To get out of it, you want to hit the undo button and, it's sort of unassemble the ship. We can hit escape and we're fine. If we don't do that, crashing the game. So it's just a matter of reloading up your world and then just coming in here and reassembling. And I lied. It's crashed. Okay, so we are back. I guess the only way to do it is to, come in here. We'll rename the ship again. Flying Wolfsman, done renaming the ship, assemble the ship. The only way to get out is to mount the ship and then to disassemble the ship, which you would do depending on how you've got this set up. Open up your options screen, go to controls. I highly recommend you do it this way first. Type in DAV down at the bottom, DaVinci if you want. Hit the category button. This brings up all of your controls. Now, the default is the ZC or the ZX and C buttons, which is right under the WASD. Those are heavily conflicted buttons, though. I've changed it over to my numpad 9, numpad 6, and numpad 3. It's a little bit awkward, but these are less used ones. Even though I do have that conflict with the numpad 3, it's nothing, super, super bad. The backslash controls my map up into the corner, which is not a big deal. I'm going to keep that one there. Ship's inventory is really just your inventory. And then the equal sign is the align. So that's how we are going to snap to that anchor point and how we're going to sort of align our ship to make sure it's, facing in one direction and not, sort of skewed off at an angle. So, I suggest doing this first. It's, very important that you pick some keys that are going to be good for you and for your setup. But I've got mine set up like this. We're going to hit done. We're going to hit back to the game. Now, everything should be good. I can actually jump back and forth between that passenger seat as what, but I can't control the ship from there. What I want to do is I'm going to press the 9. We're going to go up. I can press the 3. We can go down. And then the WASD, we can kind of control the ship as we want. What I want to do here is there's two things. There's this floating island up there that I haven't explored yet. And then there's also something floating up above my base that I haven't actually checked. It looks like it's like a gas. So I'm kind of curious what that's all about. But what we're going to do is we're going to go and take a fly up to the slime island. And then we're going to come back around and check out that little floating bit over here. So, this is it. This is the flying ship. All right, so here we are. This is Slime Island. It didn't take us very long to get here at all. Quite happy about that. You got to be careful about getting out of these things, though, because they will drop you quite sharply. So let's just find a good spot here. And if I hit Shift, it kind of throws me through the bottom. This will kind of slow down, and it'll probably land on that anchor point right there. There we go. Now, the only problem is getting back up into the ship, which is not really a problem because as long as I right-click on it, it'll just throw me up in there. So I don't have to climb. I don't have to jump or anything like that. That is perfect. Now, while we were flying over here, I noticed there's another one of those weird cloud things. And like I said, there was one over by my base, and I could see it from the ground. It's like a cloud that doesn't move. And I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there's a chest on there. Ooh, okay, so here's where things are going to get a little dicey. because I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to get off of this. I don't know if it's going to hold the ship's weight. But let's stop right here. Where am I? There it is right there. So if we do this properly... Oh, you can see the gauges actually work as well. Come over here. Now what I want to do is line up my little gangplank there, and it should hold me in place. Okay, so this should be good. If I hit shift... Oh, there's a blaze. I wasn't expecting that. There's a blaze. What is this? Oh, I was not expecting that at all. Oh boy, I'm on fire. I don't even know what this is. Oh, and I fell. And that's not good. That's not good at all. Now, I don't know if they're gonna spawn as soon as I touch the crate or not. All right, so here we go. We got ice, iron nuggets, snowballs, nether quartz, and a squid pet. Water breathing, underwater vision, swim boost, sink down, sneak, and favorite food is raw fish. That is really, really cool. That is a squid pet. That is awesome. And I'm kind of curious. Oh, we're too close. We got too close. We're going to assemble the ship and melt the ship, and then we're just going to get out of here, because that is scary. I kind of wanted to see what that was made of, if I could break it. But you know what? I think that is really going to be it. Oh boy, we better get out of here. Look at that. That is awesome. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Oh, I took the cobblestone with me. Let me know in the comments below if you did any of these quests any differently, or if I'm missing something. Maybe there's an easier way to kind of go about what I am doing here. But if you enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackelWolf. Also, check out the description below. There will be a link to my Discord page. I would love it if you guys stop by to say hi. As well, there'll be a link to my Patreon page. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy this content and you want to support, stop by, check it out. There are a lot of great perks out there for all of my supporters, but that is it. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.